What is my net worth at the age of 20? I just turned 20 a few months ago. I thought it would be a good idea to work it out. I've actually never worked it out before, and I thought it would be a good video idea just so you guys can see. Now, the reason for this video is to not show off, not to flex or anything, but just to show you guys what is possible. What's possible when you follow the saving and investing rules that have already been established by great people before us for a very long time. You know, if you save majority of your income, invest regularly and live below your means, while you're on your come up, it can really pay off. So I just thought this video would be a good idea to demonstrate what's possible in such a short period of time, let alone if you let it compound over years and years. I've still got a long way to go, but I would say I've already built a very solid foundation. Money gives you the options. Now, just before we do get into this video, guys, as always, smash that like button, please. It really does help my channel out. I'm aiming to grow this channel, so if you could do that, if you do like the video, obviously hit the like. It's right down there. Also, if you did enjoy this video, you'll probably enjoy the other videos that I have, so make sure you stay subscribed. When I get a new video out, obviously you'll be able to be notified. So before I go in and break down what my net worth is, we first need to obviously know what the definition of net worth is and how it's calculated. So net worth is the value of all your non-financial assets and financial assets minus the value of all your outstanding liabilities. So pretty much your assets minus your liabilities equals your net worth. If you sold everything up and paid off all your debts, how much money would you have left over? Now, in this video, I'm only going to be doing the calculations on my financial assets and anything that has significant value. I'm going to include my car, but I'm not going to include anything like clothes or electronics or anything like that, just to keep it simple and obviously an accurate representation. We'll run through everything in the order of the equation, so I'll go through my assets first and then I'll go through my liabilities. We'll then minus the liabilities off my assets to get my net worth. Okay, let's go. Cash. So when I say cash, it doesn't actually mean physical, in-person paper money. I'm talking about savings accounts, checking accounts, you know, anything that I keep in actual money that's easily accessible, nothing in investments or anything like that. That's what I mean by cash. And in my savings right now, I've got across two savings accounts about $39,000. Just in cash, I've got sitting on the sideline to buy stocks if I ever feel like buying any more shares of a stock I own, or if I want to start a new position if it's a good deal. But with this cash, I'm actually stacking it up for a deposit for a new property. It would be for my second house, and I plan to hopefully make this purchase sometime after this financial year is just finished. Now, there was a bit of a spoiler in there for the second asset that I'm about to talk about. I said I was saving up for a deposit for a second home, but that's because I actually already have a home. It was a fairly cheap one, you know, just your first entry-level investment, but yes, I do use it as an investment property. I rent it out, and I just live with my parents. With my second property, I'm still unsure whether I'm going to move out and live in it straight away, or rent it out indefinitely, or maybe rent it out for 12 months or so. I've still got a bit of decision making there, but that's getting slightly off track. I want to talk about my first home. I purchased that a little bit less than a year ago. If you want to check out that, when I purchased it, my little tour, it was actually my first ever video, click this up here, that'll take you straight to that to have a bit of a gander. But obviously, since purchasing this house, it has appreciated. The Australian housing market has been very good over this past 10-12 months or so. I purchased it for $218,000 on, I would believe now it is worth roughly about $250,000. I do work in real estate, so I do have somewhat of an idea of what the property would be valued at, hopefully. So we'll add that to the total assets figure over here. Yes, obviously I do have a loan, I do have finance for this property, but we'll talk about that in the liability section. Stocks. Now, stocks are where most of my net worth is tied up in at the moment. It's obviously the core of this channel. It's my favorite kind of investment. Yes, this channel is investing and finance related, but really the core of this channel is the stock market and stock market investing. Now, in my stock portfolio, Australian shares, I have about 7,500 Australian dollars in, but in US stocks and US companies, I actually have about 35,000 US dollars, which is about 45,000 Australian dollars roughly. So if we add both of those together, have roughly about 52,500 Australian dollars in the stock market alone. I did actually recently go over my portfolio in a new video, so if you do want to check out my full portfolio, what kind of stocks I own, what positions I'm in, how much I'm up on certain stocks or whatnot, click this up here, that will take you straight to that. I recommend watching that one, it's a good one. And if you are in Australia like me and you're thinking of investing in US stocks or you want to get invested in the USA, I would recommend Stake. It's the brokerage platform I use to purchase US stocks. And if you use my referral link in the description, you get a free stock, I get a free stock in either Nike, Dropbox or GoPro. It randomly selects it for you. But check it out, it'll obviously give you something for free. Gives me something for free as well. Car. Okay, so my car. I only drive I want to say 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer. Bit of a fresh whip, you know, it gets me where I need to go, but conservatively I would say it's worth around about $4,000. So if we add that all together, the total value of all the assets that I have in my control is about 345,500 Australian dollars. Now that may seem like quite a lot, but truth be told, we haven't got to my liabilities yet, so we need to subtract my liabilities off of that to get my total net worth. So we'll go through what liabilities I currently have now. Now, I don't have any margin loans or anything like that. I don't take out debt to purchase any stocks or anything, so we'll just skip over that. All my stocks are 100% owned by me. Home loan. Now, obviously, to purchase my house, I had to take out a home loan from a bank. Even if I was in the situation where I didn't have to, I probably still would, just to take advantage of the ridiculously low interest rates that we have right now. Banks are essentially giving you free money. But obviously, I had to take out a loan to purchase this property. I unfortunately didn't have $220,000 sitting around at the age of 19 when I went to purchase it. But yeah, my home loan is currently sitting at about $191,000. So if we're going to subtract that from my assets, that's going to bring my net worth down quite a bit. So if we subtract this $191,000 from the $250,000 that my house is worth, then I'm sitting on about $59,000 worth of equity. Pretty much if I sold my house, I would get to keep $59,000, rest would go to the bank. Hex debt. Now, the only other debt that I have is what we call a Hex debt. If you're an Australian, you'd probably be pretty familiar with this, or at least know what it is. But for all of you that aren't Australian, HEX stands for Higher Education Contribution Scheme. Basically, if you want to go to university or college in the USA, you don't have to pay for it straight up. The government will pay for it while you are studying. Then once you've finished studying and you go out and get a job, you have to start paying this loan back. And how much you have to pay back each financial year depends on how much you earn. But the good thing with the HEX debt is it's essentially a 0% interest loan. The loan only keeps up with inflation, so it's only going up like what, 2 to 3% a year. So the government essentially pay for you to go to university now, and then you have to pay it back later. But yes, I did decide to go to university. I only went for one semester. I didn't like it. But obviously for that semester, the government still paid for me to go to university for that semester. So I do have to pay it back. And I've got about $4,400 left of this to pay off. Do I regret dropping out of university? No, not at all. University just wasn't for me, and let's put it this way. If I was still at university, I would not have as much in the stock market as I do, and I wouldn't own a home. But that's all the debts that I have. So now let's subtract that from the total assets that I have control of, and that will give me my true net worth figure. And I think you'll find that that amounts to a net worth of about $150,100. Now, I'm sure that's a pretty surprising number for you. It definitely was for me. I've never actually really sat down and worked this out, so this video was a good exercise for me. But no, look, I'm very happy with that figure. Just shows what consistent saving and investing will do for you. Like I said, I'm only the age of 20. I've only been doing this for about 2 years or so. So it just shows how far it can go if you stay consistent with it. But look, hey, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. If you've got anything cool to comment, I would love to hear it. I always reply to comments, so please leave them down there. But that's all I have really for you today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to smash the like button, click this circle here to subscribe, check out the video and playlist, and have a good one.